Hello everyone, I'm Morgan from Mirror Edge Networks, and I am making this video today to say welcome back to our YouTube channel. I know that we have been off filming and creating content for quite a few months now. Ewout, who's behind the camera, and I had our last filming in around about May or so last year when we went up to Johannesburg and we filmed the Homation head office home cinema demo room. There's more than hour long video that Warren from Homation and I talked in great depth and detail about their Dolby Atmos home cinema demo room featuring Trinov, Barco and Shendo. And so that was quite a highlight. We've received some incredible feedback and lots of questions and information requests regarding that room. So, it was a bit of a shame that we haven't been filming, but we are back, back in 2026. We're going to get out there and we're going to get back to filming our content of our projects as well as some other home cinemas around South Africa, and depending on how timing goes, there's a couple of things that I'd like to see in the UK and bring some of that content through to YouTube as well. There was a couple of new business developments last year which led to us being away from the filming side of things. I'm very grateful and fortunate that my team has grown. I have Jacques, who's heading up the operations side of things and handling most of our Control 4 programming. And then I have Ian, who's heading up the design side of our home cinemas side of the projects or of the business. So he's making sure that all of our ordering for construction materials, all of our planning for the way that we're assembling things are all put together. And in his team is Oratile. And I'm very grateful for the dedication that they've shown me over the last several months. We've been able to really deliver some fantastic Control 4 projects, some really nice home cinema builds, and then of course just generally a lot of home networks and some great Wi-Fi installations. As of today, we have just wrapped up and brought all of our equipment, tools and materials back from site in Pearl Valley, where we spent a week building a brand new home cinema room. So first thing in the new year, we kicked off a great build out there. Our client is incredibly excited to be moving into his house in around about April, May, in which case we'll be going back to the house and filming the completed room and obviously bringing that to you here on YouTube. So the home cinema side of the business is obviously our core passion and our core focus, and we'd like to encourage you to reach out if there is anything that you have been thinking about with regards to a home cinema. Obviously that leads me onto the topic of this room. This is our home cinema demonstration room. We spent about 3 months last year busy refining the details from the 3D render that we worked with Alicia to get this room designed the way it is. And we have now got a fully functional room which we can invite you to come and experience. I feel very strongly about the fact that home cinema demos is critically important to the decision-making process. There's a lot of information online about home cinemas and what's possible, but what is really important is that you experience the room and how it performs, and if that is what you're expecting to get as an outcome for your home cinema room. What I'm going to do is a little teaser is, I've got a really nice 3-meter wide projection screen on my right hand side, and this room has been beautifully finished with things like acoustic slat panels and the ability to hide our speakers into our wall panels. But I'm not going to give a full reveal, and Ewout's not going to shoot some B-roll of this room now. Instead, I'm going to do we have the 3D render, and Ewout's going to overlay some of the footage of the 3D render of this room so that you can get a concept of what this room looks like from a design perspective. And if you choose to come and visit me and experience this room, you can then make your interpretation about how we approached this room and what we've been able to do to achieve the result that we're looking for in comparison to the render. So I'll leave that in your decision making if you're going to reach out to me to come through for a home cinema demo. Then beyond that, I'm just going to grab one piece of equipment which I've been incredibly proud and very happy to be able to invest in recently. I'm holding a Fluke Link IQ network tester. This is a network cable verifier, and one of the most important parts of any modern house is the network and the Wi-Fi system. And I'm very fortunate that we started this business almost 15 years ago in 2012, and the whole approach from the very beginning was networks and Wi-Fi, hence the name Mirror Edge Networks. I could see already back then that home networks was going to be a critically important part of any modern home. As we think about it now, everything from our TVs to be able to stream Netflix or whatever it might be, through to I've just installed an air conditioning system in our server room, and the air conditioning is Wi-Fi enabled. All these devices need to have a robust network and Wi-Fi system to be able to connect to. We are seeing it more and more frequently, especially here in Cape Town, that a lot of companies are installing network cabling. Network cables are not installed correctly, they're not terminated correctly, they're damaged during installation, and there is no testing that's taking place at the end of the network cabling installation. So we've been called out numerous times last year to troubleshoot and fault find network installations, and it comes down to the basics. Network cables are not being installed correctly, they're not being terminated correctly, and they are most certainly not being tested. And we can show this from various projects that we've worked on. And I felt like it was critically important to say we're taking this even more seriously by getting a good quality network tester. Fluke make the gold standard in terms of network testing equipment. This is a cable verifier, so it can tell us cable lengths, if there's damage on the cables, and provide additional details for us. And we're going to make sure that any installations that we are working on in the future, we can verify the cabling and we can provide an installation report to the client, to the project manager, to the electrical consultant, whoever that information is critical for, so that we can ensure that there's not going to be any issues further down the line. So I thought it was very important to say that the outlook for the rest of the year is we're going to make sure that every single time we install a network cable, that it's tested and we can say for certain what it's going to be able to do for us in our installation. Beyond that, we're very grateful. We're actually going to be taking that unit out. We leave tomorrow. I think it's Sunday the 1st of February, and we are going to be driving up into a project deep in the Eastern Cape. It's about 900 kilometers from the office. We are going up to completely overhaul the network on a private farm that's out there. We actually deployed a Bang & Olufsen system in September, and in my early discussions with the project manager back in around about May last year, I said to her, I can guarantee you that the network is going to be the weakest part of this entire project. And lo and behold, we did the deployment in the first week of September, and the second weekend of September and the third weekend of September, I ended up being back on site fixing network issues that the local network company was not able to resolve. Beyond that, I said to her, okay, well, let's address this in the new year. Over the course of November, December, we put together a comprehensive proposal, which she completely accepted and approved. And that has led us to the fact that, as I said, tomorrow we're going to be driving up. We're going to spend about 2 to 3 weeks out on this property, and we're going to be installing a complete new fiber backbone, about 2 kilometers worth of fiber that's going to go into the property. And we're going to be doing a whole host of new Unify Pro switches, and there's going to end up being about 50 Wi-Fi access points to provide absolute Wi-Fi coverage throughout the property. And along with that, although most of our cables, most of our Wi-Fi APs are going to be very close by to network switches, so we don't need necessarily to run cabling. There's going to be about 12 or 13 of the Wi-Fi access points which will need cables to be run, in which case verifying the cable every time is of absolute critical importance. So very grateful that we've been able to just pick this network test up yesterday, and we're already going to be able to put it into good use tomorrow and the following 2-3 weeks up in the Eastern Cape. Lastly, I think I should just mention, we are very grateful that we've been very active with Control 4 installations over the last 12 months, and we're looking forward to some exciting new Control 4 projects in the next coming months. If you are looking for a Control 4 solution, or if you've been contemplating a proper, robust home automation solution, we feel like Control 4 is an incredibly well-suited product for the market here in South Africa, and we're going to continue focusing on it as our primary home automation solution. I chose over the holiday period to make some investigations myself by getting some IoT devices and playing around with them, and it reaffirms to me the need for a centralized control system that ties all the devices in. There are some fantastic products coming into the market, like the Shelly devices that can control outlets for plugs or have thermostats or all sorts of various different tie-ins that can benefit you in a Control 4 solution. But just using them as a platform gets clunky and gets very tiresome to use. So having done the experiment here at our office, I've been able to identify that, yes, they work well on their own, but you really get the most benefit out of them by bringing them into something like a Control 4 system. So we will make sure that we are up to date and focusing on all of our Control 4 based solutions. And then lastly, I think I'll just circle back to home cinemas is my passion. It's what we are most in tune with regarding what's happening in the cinema market here in South Africa as well as internationally. The team are incredibly well set up to be able to design and build our solutions. So if you've been thinking about a home cinema, I implore you to reach out to me, come through and experience this room, give me your feedback and listen to, I'll listen to what you have to say about what you're thinking about, and hopefully we can work with you on an exciting home cinema project here in Cape Town or even in the rest of South Africa here in 2026. If there's anything else, please feel free to reach out. Happy to discuss any other projects. Of course, we are working on quite a few exciting Bang & Olufsen projects, and hopefully, pending the permission from the clients, we'll be able to bring some of those projects to you later in the year once we've been able to go out and film them. So that's a quick video to say we're back for 2026. Earvolt and I are going to be back to filming, and we hope that you enjoy the content that we're going to bring out to you throughout the course of the year.